Alright guys, welcome back to the Rock Hound channel. Look who's here! And we got a special guest tonight. I got my adopted son George here.
Hello.
Alright, I got him running on the gold cube. We've been already hot at it. He's going ahead and run these concentrates here. I got him set with another batch right here. So everything that we're going to run today off in our 2-stage over here, we're going to go ahead, wash up those mats like we did the last time, and then take it all back over here and run it. And then once everything's been ran, we're going to see what those top mats look like. We'll catch you in just a minute. Alright guys, so as I've said, we're going to go ahead and run all of our reruns, everything that we've had the last 10 years. We're going to rerun it back through our 2-stage over there, give it a good rinse off, run it back over here at the gold cube. The reason why we're doing that is it's another nasty day outside. There was just no way Brandon and I were going to go out there and tough the elements. There's no way.
Yeah.
We learned from the last video that was horrible. So we went ahead, got everything set up, and we're just going to run it all. And we'll see what we got, see if we missed any gold. So go ahead and give ourselves a nice scoop in there, Brendo. Alright, in we go. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, this here is our home-built 2-stage high banker. In this high banker, we are running Gold Hog Premium Motherload Sluice Mats, and they run absolutely amazing. These are good at catching all sizes of gold. So, by the end of today's run with all of these buckets, we should be able to see a considerable amount, hopefully here at this top mat. This one here usually catches about somewhere around 98% of our gold. And then our second mat down there should, in all technicality, catch what is missed from that top one. So we're going to go ahead, let this boil for a while, and we're going to go ahead and check on George here in just a minute. Alright, George is on that gold, watching the mats like a hawk. And restart his timer here. There we go. He's just going to go ahead and let that dance across that mini mat. And like I said before, we're running this. We've already been running a bit of this still. And it's been pretty good. We got a few flakes in here already. Some tiny stuff. All the way down up in there. Let's see if I can get my light to cooperate with us today. 2 sitting up in there. They're just tiny little things, but that top mat really catches them. So when we catch more bigger flakes, we're going to be showing you those here in just a moment.
Alright, we're running.
Alright guys, so here's some simple facts for you guys. Right now at this current time, gold is sitting at just only $3,000 a troy ounce. So now is the best time to get out there and get some gold. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty cheap to get going on it. Between Brandon and I, when we first started here, it was just under $100 just to get gold. And that was just basic stuff. Now let me show you a couple of those things right now. So gold pans are your first and foremost friend, and these guys, you can get these just about anywhere on Amazon. That's where Brandon and I went out to go get some of these, and they come in various sizes and such. And one of the ones that we particularly like are called the Gravity Trap. And those ones are actually pretty good, and I can show you one of those here in just a moment. So this here is a gravity trap, and if you can take a look here at the inner circumference, this allows one to shake down that pan pretty good. You're going to go ahead And all your heavies are going to get stuck here, and hopefully some of your flakes and your nuggets will sit right here at the bottom of the pan. So once you get to that point, you skim off all your blondes and all the other stuff. You just keep stratifying, and then ultimately all your gold should sit down here once you get down to just about half of a cup worth of material. So that's a pretty safe area to turn around and just dump her off into a bucket, and then you'd be all set to go. And then later on, you can take it down and we can sluice it later. Or if you wish to take it home, pan it down even further. And that's where one of these come in handy. This here is a straight up finishing pan. These are from ASR Outdoors, and these are absolutely amazing. They come in all sorts of sizes. I've got them all the way down to like little 6-inch pans that we take out in the field when we're just out prospecting little areas. And these are great. So all you gotta do, it's got a nice white flat surface. You just sit there, get your material down a little bit further to where you're comfortable, and you just tap it back. And I'll show you that over here. So again, you know, I've got some material sitting up in there already. I'll just go ahead and tap that back. So, if there were, we got a little bit in there. My eyes will let me do what I need to do here. There's a little bit in there, tiny little specks. George has been finding them through our rerun concentrates. And once we get some more in there, you guys will be able to see that, but it's going to be very nice and clear on these. So another thing is, you see it's pretty roughed out, pretty ugly looking in there. And what the deal is here is that we turned around, and what we did was we seasoned the pan. Now, you can use just about anything. We use sand on ours, or decent sandpaper. Anything 100 grit will do pretty good. And you just sand it down really good. Get all that nasty oil stuff off of them, because they're always going to have some kind of oily substance. It's plastic, folks. So keep that in mind.
Nice to know.
Yeah. We'll see what he's got going on out here. Alright. Any goodies in there yet? You got a little bit in there. You got a little bit in there. I'm just trying to see if we can see any more specks. Now we're going to go ahead. What we're doing here is we're taking a single tiny little scoop, once again, and just feeding that slowly across the micro mat. Now I ain't worried if it goes past this mat. We've got 3 more stages to go. So anything that misses here, we're going to catch it here on that first stage. This is actually the first stage of this gold cube. So anything up in there, it's going to catch it. So let me get a light up in there. See that? So it'll catch right up in there. And today's goal is we're going to turn around and see if we can get a beautiful line up in there with all of these buckets of material. And we'll see just how horrible Brando and I are at panning.
Alright, rolling.
Alright guys, so we're running everything here, and I want to give you guys some stats on our 2-stage, our home-built 2-stage here. So on average I can run roughly about 3 to 5 of these 5-gallon pails in under 2 hours. If I really punch at this, that's about the normal time that I try to get on this. If I'm really going strong, I can blow from 5 of these boogers in another 45 minutes. So what we're going to do today is we're just putzing on this. I turn around and set up several strainers up in my stages here just to kind of give it a slow baffle, to let it take its time going through our mats. So, yeah. And this also, like I said, most of this stuff came out from my yard. We dumped all this about a couple months back.
Yeah.
So it's got grass, it's got every God knows what else in it. So it's always good to have a decent strainer in there. If you're running any kind of a sluice that you're running at home, go ahead and get yourself a strainer up in it. That's what we did on this one. I built this top tray so it would hold the strainer. So when I bring materials home, I don't have to sit there and take the time to go ahead and and take it all down. So that's what we're going to do here is we're just letting it go through, get all the grass washed off, and then we're going to go ahead, run it over at our wash tank. No. Eat it up. As you can tell in here, this whole area, these mats are going to go ahead and carefully take off all the lawn sand and leave us with just the black sand concentrate. And over gold should technically be up here at the top and slowly migrate itself down here as the riffles get full. So we're going to run everything we got here once again, get it all over at the wash table, and we're going to see what we got over at the gold field. Alright guys, so Brando here is going to help me out. We're going to show you what we've been using this entire time to strain out our materials, to get all the gravels and such out. So, a couple things here. If you're a gold miner on a shoestring, these two here, this is a basic Fry Daddy basket. And then we got another big one here. And this guy here is for air frying chicken. That's a decent grade on it. So those are some different ones that you can pick up just about anywhere. It's Goodwill, Walmart, Dollar Tree. And then we get into the fancy smancy ones. We've had these for a while. This here sits about 400 mesh. You can tell it's super, super fine. And then we got this guy here, which is just roughly about 80 mesh to 100 mesh, I believe. Let me double check on that to be sure. It's been a while. This guy is 1/8 inch on this guy, so that's pretty big. But before we even got these boogers, this is how we were handling it. Going through all of our gravels, painstakingly going through everything to make sure we didn't have no nuggets. Yeah. But this is how we went through all this. These are great to find, and they fit in a gold pan. They're amazing. So I wanted to show you guys this real quick, so if you look in here, real careful you'll see that my sands, with the Alone Fire, you can see that there's bits in there that are fluorescing. You can see this a lot out there on the beaches. If you were to use something like this or a headlamp with a shortwave UV, you will see what looks like a billion different starlights going off all at once. If anybody's seen the last video of the big stuff that we just found, this is going to be absolutely amazing once we're all said and done on this. I can't wait. So I'm going to let Brando get back to the thing that I'm hogging the bucket. I had to show you that, guys, because yeah, when I first saw that, I was down here just kind of doing some electrical. Well, I had the shortwave UV with me, and boy, oh boy, these buckets started lighting up on me. I didn't know what to think at first. So these guys here, like I said, once again, they're roughly about anywhere between 50 to 65 bucks, but well worth every cent. These things take 4 18650 rechargeable batteries, and this booger recharges as well. I'm gonna hand you over to Brando real quick, that way I can get the flap open. There it goes. So right there, takes the C2C charger. These things roughly about an hour or so. If you run one of these stone dead, this actually takes about an hour to recharge. But they have decent battery life on them. I've taken this out a few times already and had amazing results. So again, I can't say it enough. These things are amazing. Definitely well worth the time and the money to buy one. Alright, let's have a gander in here and see what we got going on. I'm interested in seeing what this would look like underneath the UV light and see if what we get. See if we got anything up in there. I'm seeing some star brights in there. Yep, got some fluorescent minerals up in there. Yeah. That's pretty gosh darn cool. And of course, gotta have all the other strange stuff. Alright. So far so good. He's found about 4 flakes that I've missed. We don't know how much is sitting up buried in this black sand. So we're going to give it an extra minute to get all that kind of sort of cleared out and see if we actually see anything just stand alone up in there that you can snuff her up in the bottle. So we'll show you that here once we're done. Alright, we're burning right along. He's putting the next one in. We've been running roughly about a half an hour to an hour now. So we're going to go check on Brando over here. He just put himself in one. Getting it all mixed up good in there. Oh yeah. That's working off pretty good. Oh yeah. Looking really good. So with this 2-stage that we built, we're running this as its water source, a 1 horsepower jacuzzi water pump. Some of you typically see your hot tubs or whatnot, and they're just a basic 1 horsepower. These things actually work pretty good. You can fix them up with your fittings, and I tell you what, you can't ask for a better power source for it. And a 1 horse is almost too much for this sluice. And then these are, I've got a 1 3/4 here, or sorry, bottom's 1 3/4, this is a 1 1/8. And I got it set up on flanges in here so it fits nice and easy. Now we got this measured out. I've got this just shy of 11 degrees on the top here. And this one here is just about 16 degrees. Those are your perfect numbers that you want for your pitch on any sluice box. So sadly, we're going to lose George here. He's got himself about an hour-and-a-half drive. He's going to go ahead and let me take over on this. And hopefully we will see him next weekend if he's got the free time. And he's going to go with us on location back to the honey hole. Hey, at least our backs will be saved, bud. Alright, bucket 1's done. We're going to go ahead and rinse out the rest of that and put her into this 2-stage, and we're off to bucket 2. Alright guys, we're coming down to the bottom of the pan on the first round with the gold cube. Next round we got all this to go through. We are sitting at just under 2 hours thus far. We already burned through 1 bucket over on the 2-stage over there. Waiting for that to run down so we can keep on the 2nd bucket. We'll get back to you guys here in just a minute. Alright guys, just a quick update. We're running into hour number 3 and I'm not quite there on this guy, but I've seen a few up in there all nice and collected tight. Over here, we're getting there. We're about halfway down. And she's running pretty clean. So after this bucket, we got 1 more. It's down here. We're going to go ahead and run that one through the 400 mesh as it's going through the 2-stage. So guys, we'd like to take this time to kind of remind you guys to go ahead, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed today's video so far. Definitely please leave us a comment down below. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so please be sure to tell a friend, let your family know, tell them what you've seen here. And also, guys, just to let you also know that we are now on TikTok. So if you guys would like to see us, it'd be hashtag the Rockhound channel.
Alright folks, we are down to our quarter bin of our concentrates for the gold cube. William's working on his last quarter bucket.
Alright guys, I'm finally coming down to the bottom of the barrel on this guy. And we're going to get started on the next one real shortly after this is in the box.
Alright, a little update folks. I'm down to my last 3 scoops. William over here is working on our gravels. He says we're doing well. We got
just a quarter here.
Yeah, just under a quarter.
So we're working real hard at it, putting
Yeah.
it through the 400 mesh. And then later on, we'll go through those goodies later
Yeah.
with the rubber pan and see if we missed any nuggies.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
All right, we finally finished all 3 of those buckets. So right now I'm just letting this all drain off a little bit. And then we're going to get started here in just a moment. All right, finally we got them all washed out. Everything's all set to go on that for the next run. And here's the final result. Sitting up here in the bucket. We're going to go ahead and just continue right on with this train. We haven't stopped yet. So everything that's going to be ran through here, we're going to go ahead and clean all this out at the end. So those are the colors thus far coming out of our stuff. Plenty nice ones sitting up in there. Alright guys, so we're almost there on cons. We're going to finish this up. And then I will see you guys at the cleanout, unless Bransel finds a nice flake in there. So guys, there is our mucky mess at the end of all of those buckets. We're going to go ahead, clean this out tomorrow, get this all with fresh water, and we'll be ready to go for this next weekend's run. Alright guys, he's about almost finished. He's at the bottom of the bucket already. So once we're all finished here, we'll be doing our clean out. You guys will be seeing that here shortly. Alright guys, we are about to go ahead and take that first stage off and do up our first tray here. These are the results of our micromat. A bunch of tiny color up in there. That's pretty good. I still have a bunch sitting here. So I can't wait to see what's all up in here. See if I can see some. Oh, look at that. We got some copper bits in there. Oh, we got some copper bits. Ooh, Brendel.
Huh?
A bunch right here. Right there. And, of course, we got that lead. A bunch right here, too. Sweet. Alright, we'll show you that here in just a second, guys. Alright, Brando just finished up tray number 2. And I have just finally worked off tray number 1. Just want to show you that quick over here. Alright. There's quite a bit of gold in there. I got some wires in there and stuff. So we're going to get that cleaned up, and that's going to go over here into our tray, and then that's going to go on our hot plate for the way up. Alright guys, so we had 4 itty bitty little colors. They're almost minuscule in here. You can barely see them. They're just so small. Can't seem to get them to come out proper. But they're in there. So we're going to add that to the mix over here, and we'll be back. Oh, all right, guys. Welcome back. It is the next day. Brando and I worked hard and got everything all squared away. All fresh new water in all of our tanks. And as promised, I'm going to go through what you guys need to get started in just a moment. Alright guys, so a couple things that I recommend, and so does Brando, is some of the simple pans that you can find out there on Amazon. One in particular that's a must is a gravity trap. Now this here is a gravity trap pan. This thing is just over 16 to 18 inches in diameter. Has a decent lip on there. Let me get a good close-up on that. As you can see, decent lip on there. It's got some fine riffles, so you can speed through your material. All your gold should be trapped up here in the bottom of that pan. Now, before you even get to that point, you definitely got to turn around and classify. Now, Brando and I use two different types of classifiers. We use a 1/8 inch standard and a 400 mesh. And as you can see, they fit into your pans beautifully. Alright, the next ones that I want to go through real quick with you is a decent river pan here. This has got a more aggressive set of ripples on it, and it also works real nicely with your classifiers. And then once you get it all down, you can run with one of these. These are decent. You can get these all on Amazon, and that's where Brando and I got all these. Next thing you kind of want in your pack is a decent jeweler's loop. We use two different types. We have a multi-loop. Sets it up like so. Let me get in here, if it'll let me. In just a moment here. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Just a decent multi-loop here. It's got the 80 and all that such. 1 second. And there you go. As you can see, she is a multi-loop. She's got the 90, the 60, and the 30. 30 is a pretty standard one that everyone uses out there. This one's super cool. It's got all options of lighting for each one of the loops, from UV to all your selectors there. And of course we got our standard here. This one here is a dual that we use. This is a 90 and a 30. Not a bad loop to have. Comes with a decent button battery on there. And these ones here you can pick up for about $30. Them are a little bit more expensive. I can't remember off the bat right now what we paid for it, but I think somewhere around about $50 for the pair. Next I want to talk about is, of course, shovels. This is a basic garden spade. Pretty decent, robust handle on it. And you can get up in there and get all the nice little nooks and crannies. We also carry a plastic one, and I will go through that in a later video, what the importance is to having one of these. And then we got our premier shovel. This here is called the Diamond Digger. Now I don't take this much out there panning, but I do take this out when I'm metal detecting. And I'll discuss that in a later video. Of course, you got to have something to put that gold in. These here are two standard cheapo snuffer bottles. Again, from Amazon. We picked this up as a 4-pack. Wasn't too badly priced, about $25 for the 4. That wasn't bad at all. And just in case you do find that awesome picker or nuggie out there, you got to have yourself a bottle for that. So this here is from Minelab. This came with my metal detector over there, my Gold Monster 1000. And I tell you what, they're nice and handy to have around with you. But if you don't have one like this, you can always compromise and get one of these. This here is just a standard pill bottle. This was from GasX bottle, cheapo bottle. And I just cleaned it up, painted the end of it, and that works great for keeping all your nuggies. One important tip, don't ever take glass bottles out with you in the field. And of course, if you're doing all this digging, you got to have something to put your pan cons in. The cheapest way to go about doing that is saving up cat litter buckets, or if you've got a friend that has them, grab them from them. These are super nice to have, decent locking lid on them, and they stack pretty good. They actually handle out pretty well. Next, I want to talk about lights. Now, Brando and I we first off used some of these cheapo Hyper Tough ones. They're pretty decent. They take a couple AA batteries in the back there. It's got an adjustable little dial on there, 4 different options, but they eat through the batteries pretty bad. We upgraded, we went with this. This here is a Danforth 4-stage high-intensity LED lamp, and the distance on these are pretty gosh darn far, and it takes 2 18650 batteries, and it's fully rechargeable. This takes a C-to-C charger, and you can get a full charge done in under an hour. I think is what we did. We went flat dead on these guys, and it took about an hour to charge them both. Obviously, you don't want your meaty bits to get all messed up. We use gloves out there all the time. I trust Wells & Mott. These here was my original pair, and it's taken quite a bit of time to wear them out, as you can see. Not badly priced. Amazon, we're now buying them on Amazon, and they're about 15 to 18 bucks a pair. Now, a good practice to possibly get into is keeping a log. Once you get going and you find some good locations, you're definitely going to want to record it. Now, Brendo and I have been doing this now for almost 10 years, and we've got quite a few of these standard, single subject books just full of locations that we've been to. We turned around and started taping some graph tape paper to the back side of each one of these so that we can turn around and freehand draw out some kind of similar map like this. And you can find more stuff like this on the following channels. The two that we recommend the most is Chris Ralph. He's a professional prospector, and that's why you can put it on YouTube. And then, of course, we got to have AskJeffWilliams.com. Both of these gentlemen have wrote books that are absolutely a must-have. Now, of course, you got to have a pack to put all that stuff in to lug around. Now, this here has been my daily and my go-to. And this here is a standard military surplus rucksack. Brando carries an 80-liter backpack for hiking. He packs everything in, and it just basically is a huge gunny sack. So your logbook should have these standard things. One, the location, and if possible, go ahead and take photos. The time and distance it took to get to that said location. And lastly, draw up yourself a short map of the area and keep it safe, somewhere where no one else is going to get a hold of it. And I am so glad you guys stayed till the end to see all this stuff. So that way you got a grasp of what you kind of need out there. I'm going to go ahead and do another this is going to be 3 segments, 3-part series, and I'm going to be putting each segment at the end of our following videos. Until next time, guys, hey, if you guys are new to our channel, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget that notification button. 2025 has just simply been off the hook for Brando and I. Also, if you wish to reach out to us, we are also now on X and TikTok. Hashtag the Rockhound Channel. Once again, this is William for the Rockhound Channel saying, I'll see you out there, guys. Oh shoot, I forgot about the gold. Let me show you that here real quick. And there's that gold, you guys. Wasn't a bad little haul. So, like I said before, we didn't do too bad out of 3 buckets, I don't think. And once again, thank you guys so much. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. So please be sure to share this video with a friend, a family member. Whoever's interested in getting out there and finding that gold, let me tell you what, it's still sitting about $3,100 as what I've seen so far on the stocks for the S price, and that's $3,100 a troy ounce. So that's not too bad. Definitely a good time to get out there and get some of that shiny. So until next time, guys, I'll see you out there.